From the basement of the beautiful Chrysler Building in New York City, where we keep our lunches on the orange pipe to keep them warm, this is the Scammies. I'm your host, Michael Robertson. Each episode, I'm trying to make you a little bit smarter so you can spot the scams and the scammers and keep more of your own money. This is part 3 in the series AI Murdered My Company. Maybe. I have to add the maybe part because we're still collecting information. But that's what will make it fun, because I'm going to share the evidence with you and you can make up your own mind. This is part 3 entitled The Internet's Secret Blacklist, Why You Should Care. You might want to watch parts 1 and 2 for the full context. Now, before January 2026, the only IOC that I had heard of was the International Olympic Committee. But there at the bottom of the Dark Spectre blog post was an entirely different IOC. This list had nothing to do with sports. It's an acronym used in the cybersecurity industry which stands for Indicators of Compromise. More plainly, it's a list of bad and dangerous companies and technologies. The cybersecurity industry uses threat intelligence sharing. Security companies research and verify software and services, identifying those that are malicious. They then add them to the IOC list and post it publicly. From there, it can be imported to hundreds or thousands of IOC lists around the world. This effectively means that items on certain IOC lists are branded as damaging and dangerous and blocked globally. At first glance, this sounds reasonable. If a company discovers something dangerous, sharing the information helps protect others. But over time, the system has evolved into renegades chasing dollars with no rules or oversight whatsoever. There's no criterion for adding something to an IOC list. A cybersecurity organization can add a company or its software to an IOC list based on little or no evidence verified by no one. That accusation can rapidly spread across the internet, creating an immediate global blockade, even on the flimsiest of accusations, maybe with no evidence whatsoever. Cybersecurity is a huge industry, estimated at $400 billion in 2026. That's bigger than the movie, music, and video game businesses combined. Fortunes are being made in this explosive growth industry. Companies know this and are racing to capitalize on it. One way they can do this is by finding as many alleged dangerous items as they can, and by doing it faster than others. Those they find, they can then magnify the risk about and trumpet their expertise while pushing people to buy their products or services to stay safe. Yet there is no requirement about who can publish a security report with an IOC list. They don't register with the government. They aren't required to publish their research. There's no certification. They don't have to be an American company. And most concerningly, they aren't required to alert those that they target. There is zero oversight by the government or any third party. And Meeting TV was a victim of this renegade system. The cybersecurity company Koi announced on its blog, the Dark Spectre Report, that it had found not just something dangerous, but a criminal organization. Quote, "This is the first time we've identified a criminal organization." In the IOC section for the malware campaign they claimed to uncover, they listed only Meeting TV's URLs along with our company name. In addition, they listed our software, plus they claimed that all the Zoom Stealer software connected to our database to store its stolen material. Then they told readers to buy their service. Quote, "That's why Koi built Wings, our risk engine that analyzes every version of every extension using static analysis, dynamic analysis, and agentic AI," unquote. Now, if that was only published on their own blog, that would be one thing. But since they published an IOC list, it got slurped up by technology companies big and small. Within hours of their Dark Spectre report being published, Meeting TV became unreachable for many on the internet. Verizon, Comcast, Cloudflare, Palo Alto Networks, to name just a few, immediately started blocking users from reaching us and using our service. And it's not just security companies. The blog got republished across security, technology, and news sites, each repeating the claim that Meeting TV is a criminal and is working with Chinese cyber criminals. From there, it got ingested into the AI chatbots. Ask Google's Gemini or OpenAI's ChatGPT or xAI's Grok about Meeting TV, and you'll likely get some version of the Dark Spectre story about how we're conspiring with the Chinese. We were oblivious to the source of the blockade because nobody contacted us prior to the report being published. This was a 32-page report, so presumably it took some time to author, but at no point did they take the minute it would take to send us an email or make a call. It was a sneak attack. And you know how many cybersecurity companies or news sites reached out to us before blocking or reprinting the allegations? 0. Not a single one. Our guilt was presumed. We were accused, tried, and convicted all at the same time by one organization. And once we were branded criminals, we were not on one list, but hundreds, each of which we have to try and contact to get removed. The IOC system is broken and lives are being impacted. Now, you may be wondering why you should care. Maybe you're thinking you will never be on the IOC list. But you might. Because the IOC is just one list of hundreds, probably thousands of lists being created in the US. Do you shop at Rite Aid, Lowe's Hardware, grocery outlets? Do you go to casinos? Do you attend sporting events? If so, you should know that there are reports that they're using facial recognition technology to identify customers and match them to their own blacklist. And certainly the government has its list, such as the no-fly list. There are US companies making this technology now available to anyone. One is called Safer, S-A-F-R, from Real Networks. And so you can expect many more IOC-type lists to appear. Now, what happens if you're falsely on this list? Will you be notified in advance? Is there an appeal process? How do you ever get off the list? What happens when you tell the company that they're wrong and they refuse to do the responsible and right thing? I'm looking at you, Palo Alto Networks and Koi. What Meeting TV is experiencing is a precursor of what's to come to the masses. Now, back to the Dark Spectre report that falsely put us on their IOC list. The blog post was stuffed with numerous accusations. But what actual evidence was there that Meeting TV participated in a criminal conspiracy? Surprisingly, they acknowledged Meeting TV's software delivered real value and users liked it. They wrote they were functional tools that delivered real value. The extensions earned trust and positive reviews. Users got what they advertised. This may be the only part of the 32-page report that we agreed on. Now, objective analysis would have placed considerable weight on these facts as a strong indication of Meeting TV's legitimacy. Instead, remarkably, it was twisted into evidence of an extra diabolical scheme, where users were first lured in with productive, useful software that worked, only to be later, even years later, taken advantage of. According to Koi, if software gets bad reviews or has few installs, then that's an indication of guilt. Yet if the software has many installs and positive reviews, as it did in our case, that's also an indication of guilt. Got that? It's a no-win situation for any company they want to target. In logic, this is called a tautology, a statement that is true in every scenario. I guess that's convenient if your goal is to find as many alleged bad actors as you can. Now, as I'm reading this report, I'm thinking that surely there must be some actual evidence that Meeting TV is working with the Chinese. Something, somewhere. The blog post claimed that there was. One software program linked us to the Chinese criminals. One extension bridged the gap, they yelled, between Meeting TV and the Chinese bad guys. They called it Twitter X Video Downloader. To get to the bottom of this mystery, I had to do what no other security company or news outlet in the world bothered to do. I had to find and analyze this software. Who was behind it? What exactly did it do? What I found was shocking in an almost unimaginable way. I'll reveal the stunning results of my research in the next episode entitled The Mystery of Twitter X Downloader. Click the subscribe button to be notified when the next episode drops. Thanks for watching.